Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct honor to introduce our guest speaker for today. Hailing from Springdale, Maryland, Mr. Jeevan Brown grew up with a keen interest in music and writing. After graduating from Charles Herbert Flowers High School in 2004, he attended Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina, majoring in communications. While in college, Mr. Brown interned for Charlotte5.com, the Charlotte Bobcats NBA team, and Play Magazine. After graduating from Johnson C. Smith University, Mr. Brown moved to Atlanta, Georgia to follow his dreams of becoming a journalist and music producer. He was a contributing writer for Visionary Artistry Magazine, MissRiverCity.com, and Ozone Magazine, where he interviewed multiple artists such as Twista, Rocco, Gorilla Zoe, and Rashida from VH1's Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. In 2016, Mr. Brown accomplished one of his main goals of becoming a published author and released his first book titled A Lesson Learned. Based on 16 true individual college stories, A Lesson Learned is a life skills book that helps young adults and college students navigate through the pitfalls of life. Within a year, his book has been incorporated into Bowie State University's freshman classes and the Health and Domestic Violence program at Kentucky State University. As we all know, the foundation for a successful career begins with a rock-solid educational background which started for Mr. Brown at Charles Herbert Flowers High School, where he was involved in a variety of activities, including the drama club. Please join me in welcoming our guest speaker, our own Charles Herbert Flowers alumnus, Mr. Jeevan Brown.
Thank you. How y'all doing today? I first want to say thank you to Principal Brown, Mr. Edwards, and Mr. Summers for having me here today. 13 years ago, when I graduated from Flowers, I never in a million years thought I would be speaking here, especially not today with my little cousin, Deja Miller, and my little sister, Diana Fuller, both graduates. It's also the 30th birthday of my late friend, D'Angelo Harris, who passed away while I was attending Flowers. And with all this happening today, it just goes to show you how good God is. I also want to pay my respects to the first principal of the school, Miss Helena Nobles-Jones. She truly had a heart of gold and made the school a mecca of excellence. Now, when I was thinking about what I was going to say to you all, I was thinking, what would I tell my 17 or 18, think I know it all, think I have it all figured out, mischievous self? Because back then, you couldn't really tell me nothing. But boy, oh boy, after I graduated, I was in for a rude awakening. And I know some of y'all, or maybe a lot of y'all, may think the same way. Growing up at Ardmore, I remember when Flowers was first built. It was this big building with all this dirt surrounding it. And me and my friends would ride our bikes down and ride through the dirt hills. And then one day we went inside the school before it was opened up. And our parents would probably kill us if they knew we did this back then. We went inside and played on the basketball courts like we were high school superstars. And then we rode our dirty bikes through the hallways. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Not the dirt that we left behind, the trail that we left behind, but the legacy and the trail that you're going to leave behind once you cross this stage today. Because tomorrow is going to be the first day of your new life. I'm going to leave you with a few lessons that I wish I would apply to my life. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter if you're from Ardmore, Glenarden, Pricey Road, Palmer Park, Sea Pleasant, Largo, Lake Arbor, Mitchellville, Maryland, DC, or VA. You can apply it to your life. The first lesson is to figure out your purpose. Why were you put on this earth? What's the one thing you would do if nothing or nobody can stop you? Why do you think God put you here? What's the one thing you want to be known for when you leave this earth? That's a hard question. And a lot of people have a hard time trying to figure it out. But it's never too late. But you all are young. If you figure it out now, I promise you, you'll be successful. Now, the way to figure that out is a few steps, my steps. Is to figure out what's your passion, what's your hobby, what do you love to do? For example, if you love to play video games, be a video game developer. If you love music, be a music producer. If you love to debate and argue, be a lawyer. Even if you love to be on social media all day, on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and everybody's business, putting two and two together, trying to figure out who dating who, screenshotting, sending stuff in group chats, go join the FBI. Maybe you can figure out what's going on with Russia. Now, I know some of y'all are going to college. I know some of y'all are not going to college. For those of you who are not going to college, don't worry, you'll be fine. I had a few friends when I graduated who kind of depressed because they weren't going to college and their friends were. But one of my friends, Nelson Bond, at the age of 24, was the first one to buy a house out of all my friends, and he didn't go to college. But he had a trade. So either way, you got to do something. Because mama not trying to have you in her house, and like they say, mama got to have a life too. Now, once you figure out what you want to do, you want to look at it like it's a gift. It's a gift that God gave you, because ultimately it is a gift that God is giving you. And you want to look at it like you're serving and you're giving back every time. Don't look at it as a check. Look at it like you're giving back. So if you're a comedian, you're put on this earth to bring joy and happiness and help people forget about their troubles of the day. If you're a doctor, that means you're put on this earth to bring mental and physical illness back into somebody's life. I call that mixing your passion with your purpose while also serving. The next lesson is to figure out, dream big. Dream so big, y'all. I always dream big. I always had ambitions. I always wanted to do the biggest things. I remember when I was in 12th grade and I was in Ms. Rivers' classroom. Yeah, shout out Ms. Rivers. And we're talking about prom. We're talking about prom and what we wanted to do, what we were wearing, what we were going to prom in. And all my classmates turned around and asked me, Jeevan, what you going to prom in? And I wanted to do something crazy out of this world. And I told them, I'm coming to prom in a helicopter. And they all looked at me like I was crazy. But I was dead serious until when I got home that day and my parents told me to sit my butt down somewhere. But I still dreamed big after that. I actually wrote down all my goals. I would advise you to write down all your goals and everything you wanted to do. I wrote down a piece of paper where I wanted to live at when I graduated from high school. I wanted to live in New York, Atlanta, or California. I wanted to work in the entertainment business, how many kids I wanted, kids' names, dogs' names, how my wife looked, everything. And I put it in my Bible. And I put it in my Bible because I knew I would need God to accomplish anything in life. And once I graduated from school, from college, I moved to Atlanta. I started writing for Ozone magazine. I started making beats like Mike Will made it in Metro Boomin, and that's in the entertainment industry. And then I had a few dogs since then, and the wife and kids on the way. So if I can do it, you can do it too. And act on your ideas. Please act on your ideas. I can't tell y'all how many times I had an idea, I didn't act on it, and then months and years later, I see somebody with the same exact idea, and they making money off of it. God put that idea in your head for a reason. Your friends, your family may think you're crazy, but believe me, it can come true. I've seen it so many times. And if you don't act on your ideas, God may give it to somebody else, and that's usually what happens. So act on your ideas. Act on your ideas. Sorry, that kind of gave me wound up a little bit. But 2 years ago, I acted on my idea. I had the idea to write a book. I wrote a book called The Lesson Learned. And in my book, I interviewed 16 of my friends who all had a trial and tribulation while they were in college. So I'm telling their stories, and then after every story, it's a lesson learned, and they're saying how they got through it, and what kind of advice they would give to somebody that's going through the same thing. So it's different topics. One of my friends, she got raped while she was in school. STDs, drugs, racism, student loans, dealing with death while you're in college. But the secret is, nobody really knows this, but 60% of the characters in the book went to flowers. They were once in the same city as you, going through the same things some of you all may go through. And at times they thought they were failing in life and they were going down the wrong path. But just know, when it seems like you're failing in life, God is just telling you you're going in the wrong path. But in writing the book, it wasn't an easy task. You know, I had to cut off all distractions. So while you're going in this path in life, you may have to cut off a few people and a few things in life. I pray that I ask God to take people out of my life who didn't belong there. And one by one, people started dropping out of my life. I remember elevation requires isolation. Elevation requires isolation. Some of your friends, you may outgrow them, but you gotta keep pushing. Remember, I was dating this one fine girl. And then me and her grew up. I looked at God like, what is you doing? But you know, she wasn't a part of my journey. And if she was still here today, I might not be here talking to you right now. I'm gonna Pastor Keith Battle said, if it doesn't add up, you have to subtract it. Because if it doesn't add up, you can't multiply and grow to the next level. If it doesn't add up, you have to subtract it, because if it doesn't add up, you can't multiply and grow to the next level. Now, my goal in writing the book was to have my book in at least one school within 1 year. Within 6 months, I got it in 2 schools. I got it in Bowie State and Kentucky State. And I was amazed by that, but it wasn't easy. I literally got in my car and drove from state to state promoting my book. And when you go out into this life, you gotta be bold. You gotta go for it. Don't take no for an answer. I walked on campus with no appointment, and I walked in Professor Walter's office and asked her for a meeting. And I'm showing you how God works when you're walking in your purpose, keeping God first, dreaming, and having faith. She told me 3 days later after I talked to her, she told me that she already knew about my book before I even met her. I was confused. She told me that her mom and my mom was in the same Queen Esther class at the First Baptist Church of Glenarden and took that as a sign to put my book in her class. So just know, when you're on this path in life and you're going through this and going through that and you think it's not working out and you're working hard, just know that God is behind the scenes working everything out for you. And it's nothing to worry about. Believe me. Just stay focused and keep pushing. I also had a vision. I made a vision board. How many of y'all have vision boards and know what a vision board is? 2 years ago, I made a vision board. And on my vision board, I put everything on there, my family, my friends, the book on there, Dubai, Hawaii. And I found a picture, I went on Google, and I Googled that I one day wanted to be the speaker at Charles Herbert Senior High School. And right now, in this moment, I'm living it. If I can do it, you can do it too. You know, I gotta, on this path to put my book in all these schools, it wasn't easy. I got a lot of no's, got some maybes, got some yeses. And when you go out into this world, just know that you may get a lot of no's, but all it takes is one yes. I only got into 1 college when I applied for college. That's it. But I'm here right now talking to you. I didn't have a 4.0. I didn't have a 3.0. I didn't even have a 2.5. I used to joke around in class all the time, to talk all the time. But talking got me here today, so I don't regret that. But like I said, just keep pushing. Don't give up. Find your purpose. Chase your dreams. Keep God first. Have faith. Pray. And have a vision. And I promise you, the legacy that you leave behind will be amazing. When you come across this stage today, don't just be great, but be excellent, because you come from a mecca of excellence.